Hey folks, Rob. Woodworks from Rob Green. Imagine that. Hey, go do a review today of my Wen lathe. It's a 3240T. It is a 8x12 lathe, variable speed. That's the great thing about it. And we'll kind of go over it in my thoughts. I have probably about 300 things turned, actually 300 plus things turned on it. I've had it for about a year and a half, and I'm kind of gonna go over and show you it, tell you what I think about it, and we'll go from there. All right. Okay, there's my Wen 8x12 3420T. I think I did it wrong. As you can see, there's a project on it and a dirty workbench. There's a video for this coming out. I had some issues and I talked about it in that video, and I got to refinish that. But yeah, the Wen here, it's a cheap model. I think I bought this for $138 before the end of the world came. And it's got a inch, I believe, spindle. Yeah, 1 inch spindle by 8. So you can buy a lot of things for it. It is a smaller spindle size. A lot of them, I believe, are 1.25 inches. It is a variable speed model. It goes from 750 to 3200. That's what they say, but doesn't mean exactly what it does. Of course, it has a safety switch, and it is a 2 amp machine, runs on 120, 3rd horsepower. And there's a couple other things I should talk about. One, this, all the tool rust, Wen, please fix it. It's not right. This, once you have a tool on it, no tool is ever going to be on center. It's always above center. Even a flat, let's see. Here's my Robert Sorby scraper, half moon scraper. You can see it's above center. I'm holding this pretty flat. That's above center. So every single one of these needs this flat taken back about approximately 1/4 inch, if not more. It really needs to be back about a 1/2 inch. What they really need to do is take the banjo, drop the banjo down, drop the lock down, and bring this up 1/4 inch and this down 1/4 inch, and that'll give a 1/2 inch more, and that will allow most tools to work. Another thing about this is the tailstock. It's pretty sloppy. The handle's pretty junky. It runs in a groove, and there's a set screw, and of course one comes out, so I gotta have a replacement in there. This thing tends to, even if you have the lock, tends to wander. It tends to go back. You start losing pressure. I don't know if every lathe is like that, wood lathe, but every metalworking lathe I have ever worked on doesn't have that problem. So, yeah, not the greatest. Tailstock's kind of crappy. They have a stops on the back, so you got to take those off if you need to ever take your tailstock off. I take it off a lot, especially when I'm finishing like on an end on some a little bit longer. Not that I do anything much longer, but it just makes life easier for your hands to get in. Inside here is a belt. The belt is essentially non-replaceable from what I've been told. It's starting to slip, which means this is pretty much getting ready to be thrown away. The motor, it's kind of placed in a bad place. All your wood chips comes down, and then it gets into your fan, into your motor. So all your dust, I really don't care for that. The motor should be not under the actual bed of the lathe. It should be behind it. But I understand that makes it easy for the belts, because here's your spindle, the belt's right below it. It's a straight shot. And I know other lathes are like that, but they should have some kind of cover on it. As you can see, stuff just gets there, and I don't care for that. Okay, the bearings in the headstock, they're holding up, but not the best right now. They're starting to whine. I do have to put pressure on with the tailstock for doing pens, so it puts pressure on this bearing, and you can start hearing it whine. I am pretty sure I can find another one of these bearings to change out if I have to. They say the belt, like I said, isn't replaceable. I might be able to find a way to replace it. But there it is, the 3240T, or I'm sorry, the 3420T. All right, so in closing, we're going to rate this machine. And we're going to rate this machine a 5 out of 10. Reason why we're going 5 out of 10 is one, the banjo and the tool rest. When you got to do something. It's not understandable. Anyone that produced this and put a tool next to it and said, this ain't going to work, I'll go ahead and produce it anyways. It doesn't make sense. So that's why it gets 5 out of 10. Also because the tailstock seems never to be able to hold. It doesn't loosen up a lot, but it does loosen up. Especially like when I'm turning pens, you got to put pressure on it, and next thing you know, it's loose again, and you got to retighten it. And it's kind of a pain. But I have turned about probably 300, 400 things on this lathe. So you can look at it this way. It's a great purchase for starting out, getting used to it. It's cheap. I'll leave a link in the description. It'll probably be an affiliate link. You know the drill. If you've been on YouTube watching videos, I get a small portion if you order something with my link. It has held up for a year and a half. I know people that have used it, and I've watched some YouTube videos myself on this, and they have burned it up in a year. Why? Because they put the chuck on it. Don't put the chuck on it. It says right in the book, don't put chuck on it. Do I own the chuck? Yes. Have I used it for certain things? Yes. Do I turn with that chuck? No. But that's where we're at. When I bought it was 140 bucks, 138 something, 140 bucks. So it's a good little machine. It's great for starting out. If you got any questions or comments, please send them to me. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. If you know someone that's going to be getting into wood turning, share it with them. Why not? But hey, I'll see you all later, and thanks for stopping by.